Hi, my name is Derek McLeod, and this is yet another presentation in this series of presentations on City and Guilds, in this instance 5357, designed to help and support apprentices on their journey. Okay, this is just a short information presentation on the completion of test certificates for your portfolio. And the next few slides will just run through particularly the certificates you'll be required to produce for your portfolio, the difference between them, and the importance of being able to produce them as evidence, but also to practice the completion of the certificate for your endpoint assessment, AM2S. Right, here I want to look at the certificates you're going to be required to produce, what we shouldn't confuse it with, okay, what they are, what they're used for. So you need to produce for your portfolio of evidence an EIC, Electrical Installation Certificate. You're also going to be required to produce a minor works. So your assessor needs to see your ability to complete properly and produce an EIC and a minor works. They don't need to see the production of an EICR, an Electrical Installation Condition Report. Now they're often confused, but let's talk about them now. An EIC and an EICR, they're both safety certificates, but they're used for different purposes. An EIC is for a new installation, and bearing in mind, you as the apprentice, this should be about your ability to install and connect new circuits, okay, and then test and commission the new circuits. The new circuit should conform to the current edition of BS 7671. In this case, 18th edition, Amendment 2. So that's what we're about. Working to the current version of BS 7671 and ensuring it's tested to the current version of BS 7671. Now, an electrical installation condition report is a periodic test, okay, again carried out by a qualified electrician, just to ensure that the system is safe, okay. It may be that as an apprentice you are involved in EICRs, condition reports, and you may produce a condition report on your portfolio. Now that would be in addition to the production of an electrical installation certificate, not substituting it for. Although you're testing, as we've already said, they serve different purposes. They're two distinctly different certificates. It's quite common, especially when we're doing fault finding, that we identify faults when we're doing periodic inspections. Great. That's the history. That's part of why and how you've identified faults. And we can use fault finding, can't we, in Unit 115. This is all about identifying faults and remedying the faults, so they can support evidence for that unit. And in fact, what we can then do when we identify the faults that may have arisen because you've carried out a condition report, we remedy the fault, we test and inspect that we've remedied the fault, and then we issue a minor works. A minor works is the other certificate that you must produce in your portfolio. So, the main difference between an EIC and an EICR is that the EIC is issued for a new installation, while a condition report is issued for an existing installation, and they shouldn't be confused. So we talked about these different types of certificates that are issued for electrical circuits. If you're asked about the frequency of testing, there's a lot of variables in there. Depends what the premises are and what they're used for. Okay, but an electrical installation certificate, when we actually complete them, we'll be completing a section that you, as the tester, will recommend a frequency of next inspection. Now, if it's a new circuit, okay, it's reasonable. You can put down 10 years. But if you were asked how frequent should I have my electrical circuits tested, say for example by a customer, there's no record of any previous test. An electrical installation condition report should be carried out every 5 years. So in the absence of any other certificates to show when the certificate was actually installed and commissioned, if you're asked that question, it's reasonable to say you should have it checked and inspected and tested every 5 years. Indeed, if you're a landlord, you're legally required to have an EICR carried out for your property every 5 years or on change of occupancy. And indeed, it says on here, you can find out more information about electrical installation condition reports and the responsibilities of landlords on government websites. Okay, to summarise, we've looked at, through this short presentation, the difference between an electrical installation certificate and an electrical installation condition report. They're two different certificates, and we've talked about the different purposes that they serve. Now, I want you to remember that you are required to complete fully an electrical installation certificate and a minor works for your portfolio of evidence for your 5357 qualification. The completion of an EIC is great preparation and practice, okay, because you're going to have to do and complete a full EIC on your endpoint assessment, which for you folks is an AM2S. Okay, so I've explained what the differences are. We've talked about the different forms you're going to complete, but actually printing these off, and if you haven't got a copy, you can print it off from your regs book. Get busy practicing the completion of those forms, because it's a very common fail at AM2S is the completion incorrectly of an EIC. I can't stress how important that is. But anyway, good luck on getting to that stage, and good luck on passing your endpoint assessment.